What's going on? Welcome to another live edition of Real Fans Real Talk. We got one of our favorite guests in the building today with us. We're gonna talk a lot of basketball today. Plus, we always on our charity run, so we're gonna get to Balling for Peace a little bit later on in the show. But before I introduce our guest, let me introduce my co-host, my brother, aka Legend of Two Games, Eric Sanchez. What's going on, man?
What's really good, bro? I'm always excited when we get to record and get to interact with all our supporters. And we got a special guest. This family, this ain't even a guest. This
Yeah,
is family to the show. A true legend in his own right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you.
even though he
Thank
be
you.
cheating in the games, because he be coming in as a ringer. But we ain't gonna talk about that right now. We ain't gonna talk about.
Oh man.
Well, listen,
Oh
listen.
man.
It's like when you go to somebody's house and they throw the 2K on. It's their house.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? You play by their rules. It's their house.
Absolutely. Well, listen, man. Welcome back to the family. Haron H20 Hargrave, aka Mr. Balling for Peace. What's up, man?
What's going on, man? What's going on? Happy to be here. Happy to see y'all continuing to keep this show going. You know what I mean? I was loving what y'all was doing, even during the COVID and everything, keeping the show up to date. And even though E is elsewhere and you're where you at, and we're all kind of moving around, just to keep that energy going is a blessing, man. I appreciate you guys still coming out and showing me love all the time.
Absolutely. We gonna do that, man. That's the brotherhood right there. Balling for Peace and Real Fans Real Talk, man. That's a beautiful thing when those two great, platforms combine. So we're gonna continue to do that. We definitely gonna be back out with you at the end of the month because we had such a great, we always have a great time at every Balling for Peace event. So we're gonna be back out at the end of this month as well, supporting our community. But before we do jump into Balling for Peace, let's talk a little bit of basketball. Nothing too crazy, but the Phoenix Suns did add a new big man. They needed a little help with some rebounding and a couple and some blocking and whatnot. So they got my main man Bol to add to that roster. I think they got about 5 people now on the team, and that's it. Because they did trade Campaign, who was the only like legit point guard on the team. So I was confused by that. But talk to me. And Haron, I'm gonna start with you.
Okay.
What do you think about the moves that the Phoenix Suns have been making this offseason?
I mean, I feel like the move that they're making is pretty. They got to do what they got to do. I feel like they're gonna need these young players to step up a lot. They got a lot of second rounders and players of that nature. They're gonna be top heavy with with their players, and they're gonna log a lot of minutes. But I think that what's more importantly, they're gonna need a lot from a lot of these young players. So if Bol can go ahead and do what he's doing, and they give him an opportunity, I think it'll be great. I think it'll be a great pickup, and I think that he'll get the playing time that he's been needing throughout his NBA journey so far.
Eric?
Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see how Frank Vogel uses Bol because I think though he's highly skilled, he's still very raw, and there's a team that has championship aspirations. So you got to be patient with Bol. But this is one of the moves I talked about. 2K. This is a prime example. Like in 2K, when you load up with a bunch of all stars, then you realize you ain't got enough cap space to fill out the rest of the roster. Because
Yeah.
I think, though I'm not very high on Campaign, I think Campaign was more than a reasonable starting point guard for them. And to just trade him for second round picks, like you didn't really get much value back. Those are all future second round picks. So it's not like you got a guy who can come back in the trade who's going to help you right now. They still got a lot of question marks. And as Haron mentioned, they're so top heavy, man. They cannot afford an injury. All these guys have to play up to their potential for this thing to really work.
The crazy thing is, because you talk about them not really being able to afford any injuries, Bol might actually be the healthiest out of all of those guys because he played 70 games last season. I was impressed by that. But when you're talking about Kevin Durant, he's had his injury troubles. D Book, Bradley Beal, all of these guys have dealt with injuries that have kept them out for significant time throughout the season. So you're right, they cannot afford to have any one of these guys go down, especially not during the playoffs. I do think they'll make the playoffs.
But you think it's in question that they would not make the playoffs?
No, I don't think it's a question, but I think it's they won't win the championship if any one of those guys goes down. I think it's going to be really difficult to win a championship. the big four, Durant, Booker, or Bill. I think if one of those guys goes down and has to miss a significant amount of time, it's going to be hard for them in the playoffs because there's no depth whatsoever. And the guys that they
None at all.
fill out the roster with, it ain't nobody that you feel confident in a second round series or in the Western Conference Finals just throwing in there because Booker done went out or Durant done went out or Bill went out. It's not a good look for them.
You know what I'm thinking? This is the opportunity for guys to kind of who hasn't been getting the minutes, who've been showing promise and little bit of time that they've been getting. I think that it's this is the opportunity for them to be like even like a recruiting tool to kind of get ball to Phoenix. They probably was like, hey, we're gonna give you opportunity. You're gonna have an opportunity to play and do what you got to do. So I think that's what they're preaching to a lot of these young guys who are coming in, and they're gonna be able to give them these opportunities. These D League, G League guys, and these summer league guys. They're gonna have opportunity to play basketball on the biggest stage.
Yeah. Shout out to Courtney. She said, "Hell, that's for any team if your top player gets hurt." Sound like you thinking they're gonna get hurt. Yes, I think they're gonna hurt when you get injured on a layup line before the game even starts.
That's crazy.
In a couple of weeks. Yes, I think they all are injury prone. I think somebody's getting hurt next season. I'm sorry.
I mean, Kevin Durant hasn't played a full season in like over 6 years. So you got to anticipate. I'm just saying, and we don't wish him to get hurt. We want him to be on the court. But let's call it what it is. He's not the most durable superstar. And then when you're thin everywhere else, Bradley Beal hasn't played more than 60 games in over 5 years. So he's another guy who's injury prone.
Wow.
So I mean, let's keep it a buck.
Wow.
This is a team that's top heavy, and then they're very thin everywhere else. If the injury strikes at the wrong time, like Trip mentioned, if you're talking about a second half injury that could lay over into the playoffs, now that derails your whole season. So I don't know. I really don't know how Phoenix expects to build out the rest of this roster because I think they got a lot of holes to fill, and they have to become a deeper team if they think they're going to beat Denver in the playoffs.
Yeah, Eric, you want to take Hoopballer Scoop's comment here?
Yeah, Hoopballer Scoop. Shout out to Hoopballer Scoop, always supporting us, man. He said to him right now, they're the second best in the West on paper. Then they add Bobo, like we mentioned. All the role players got to do is hit open shots with KD, Booker, and Bill. No team has three monsters like that. First off, right, no team has three monsters. But for years, we've been saying all the role players got to do is hit open shots. We said the same thing when KD and Kyrie and them was in Brooklyn. So it's easier said than done. As far as on paper, it sounds great, but I don't think they have a deeper roster than the Lakers. I think Denver's obviously the cream of the crop. I think the Lakers have a better top to bottom roster, and Phoenix is probably third in that mix. But again, they got to be healthy. And what I saw from them last year in the playoffs against Denver, I'm not too enthusiastic about what Phoenix has going for this season.
My input on that too is even when we're talking about top heavy teams and people who have 3 or 4 like really really good players. At the end of the day, it's only one basketball. You know what I'm saying? Devin Booker, you got Durant, you got Bradley Beal. These are all high volume scorers, right? It's only one basketball. You know what I mean? There's only one hoop. So you're gonna get. I feel like they did too much on the offensive end. You know what I mean? And then you got DeAndre Ayton as well still, but he's still probably not. He's probably gonna be even casted off worse than Chris Bosh was in Miami. You know what I mean? When he was with the Heat and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I like teams like how they assembled them in Denver, where you got you got the star and you got everybody who can really like just help your star be the best he can be. And that I love more fits like that. So I think Phoenix is, honestly, the NBA has kind of been going away from having, the big three and things of that nature, because it's. You put so much energy and money into it that when it doesn't work, you got to blow the team up every single time, So, I'm looking forward to it. I hope that they do good, but, we have unproven winners too. Like Bradley Beal, what has he won? Besides the run recently, Devin Booker just learned how to win a little bit. You understand? So, KD, he still hasn't been able to win, that big one by itself, or like where he is the main person, So, I think in Brooklyn, the same thing kind of happened with the injuries and everything. Brooklyn was on fire. They were doing what they were supposed to be doing, and then what happened? He gets hurt again. You know what I mean? And then, it's back to everybody playing one, with just one star.
or somebody gets hurt on the roster, and it's over. You're right. It's tough to win. I want to address Ron's comment. Bron and AD ain't played a full season either, right? But that is true because those guys get hurt, but they have also won a championship together and been playing together for 4 years. And LeBron can adjust his game. He's one of those guys that, since he does pretty much everything, he can adjust his game to kind of cater to the teammates. They're not going to be doing that in Phoenix. They don't even have a legitimate floor general right now to run the offense since Chris Paul is no longer there, and they traded away campaign. So that's going to be a little bit more challenging for them to really get that chemistry going. And if one of these guys goes down during the season and misses a large chunk, it's going to make it even more difficult.
Yeah, I think the biggest difference in the two teams, though, is we've seen that the Lakers supporting cast can actually step up during the playoffs. Phoenix, we didn't see that. Phoenix, again, it's a big question mark as to who's the other guys that can help support you. Yeah, Eric Gordon comes in. I like Eric Gordon, but I don't think you could play Eric Gordon along with those other three stars because you don't have somebody who could facilitate and initiate offense. Haron, you know better than we do. You played at a high level. When everybody's out there just trying to get their own offense going, you have no rhythm. You have no rhythm on offense. You need a guy you need a guy who can get you into some sets and get you some easy baskets. But if we got to take turns where Bill is your turn, Book is your turn, KD now go, oh, by the way, don't forget Ayton because he needs his shots too. Like now there's no rhythm, and I don't see how you can sustain that in the playoffs. The Lakers at least have role players who know their actual roles, who can spot up. To Hoop Baller Scoop's comment about knocking down open shots, Hachimura knocked down open shots. Austin Reeves knocked down open shots. Gabe Vincent was just on the team that went to the finals, and Gabe Vincent was a big part of Miami's success. So the depth around Bron and AD to me is way better than what the big three in Phoenix have.
Yeah, with teams like that, when you have these top-heavy guys as well, you got to dim your light. Someone's going to have to dim their light. They're not going to be able to play the same way, and then they're also trying to fit in other than standing out. You know, when you're on a team and you know your role and you know you're the guy on that team, there's nothing else to think about. Here, they're trying to make sure that everybody's happy. There's going to be some adjustment periods. It's going to be some real adjustment period, like how when the Heat assembled that team in the very beginning, it was like, whose team is it? So I think some of that's going to happen this year. And Kevin Durant, he's the best superstar he's like the best Robin ever. You understand? He could be Batman. I'm dead serious. He's like the best Robin of all time. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because he can literally just be like, he is Batman. He's Batman. Like, he can, it's weird. It's weird. It's hard to explain.
He can integrate himself so well with other 100%. Guys. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, that he doesn't have to be the focal point.
I will say this in regards to Kevin Durant. I think he should relax on trying to troll comedians because because that whole Ryan Davis situation did not end out well for Kevin Durant. He definitely got roasted really bad. So he should just focus on the court and try to get this Suns team together and do that.
Or he can troll, but you can't control a comedian, bro. Like that's what they do, man. Like as a basketball player, we hoop. Like, you can get them on some basketball stuff. But to troll it, I would never troll it. I'll maybe get a joke here or there, but they'll keep going. Yeah. They got more. They keep going. This is relentless. So
he got with Ryan Davis too. So he had that coming to him. H, we got a question for you. I'm gonna go back to Courtney. Shout out to Courtney. She been rocking with us for a minute. She has a question directly for you. I don't even think we've ever asked you this before. Who first put the basketball in your hands?
My mom. My mother put the basketball in my hands. She used to run a tournament in St. Albans Park in Queens, New York. And she used to have like the likes of like Mark Jackson playing, Anthony Mason, just to name a few people, God rest his soul. But my mother put the ball in my hand and I never put it down. I was like about 3 years old. I used to see all these trophies in my house and stuff like that, and the attic and stuff from all her tournaments and stuff like that. And it was a blessing. It was a blessing to even honor my mom and continue to play this game and instill all the blessings that have happened throughout my journey.
Absolutely. All right. Shout out to Courtney for that one. I see Kyrie, you coming back around with another one. Shout out to Kyrie Thompson. They want you to answer this one, Ron. Where do you think Dame is going? People got to realize the Blazers is not going to give up Lillard for nothing. That part is definitely true.
Yo, that's a good question, man. Dame is, he played in the Big Sky Conference, the same conference I played in as well too.
Mhm.
He's a warrior. He's someone. I'm going to say this. He's someone like myself who believes in himself so much that you almost got to force him to get out of a bad situation because we always think that we can win no matter what. So I commend Dame on that. Trying to stay and trying to play in Portland. But where would I think he's gonna go? I don't think he's a player who even still wants to go to like a Lakers. You know what I'm saying? Where like LeBron and AD, I can see him going to like a team like where he still got to work a little bit, but they gonna promise him a little bit more. Like I can see him going to um maybe even a Brooklyn Nets, right? Going to a Brooklyn Nets team that got, they wouldn't be the favorites, but with Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson, I can see him, seeing that situation where he's still a formidable piece to making that team into a championship level team. I just think he needs some pieces like that, and I don't think people have been thinking about the Brooklyn Nets as a spot for him to really go to, but I can't see him going to like the Clippers and Lakers, but I would like to see him in like say Brooklyn or even with the Knicks. You know what I'm saying? I think we have enough assets with the Knicks to kind of give up. I would have had Obi in that trade situation, honestly.
Yeah.
If we were gonna trade for Dame Lillard, because we gave up Obi for nothing, but I see him going to like a Brooklyn. Yeah, we gave him for nothing, bro. Like, yeah.
Yeah, he did say Brooklyn would be one of the teams. I know he's been kind of focused on Miami, but he did say Brooklyn is one of the teams because him and Mikal Bridges have a really good friendship. So he did mention the Brooklyn Nets, but I know his agent was talking that we're focused on getting him to Miami. The problem is Miami
They
doesn't
don't
have the assets,
they don't have the assets at all.
so they would need another team or two to help them try to facilitate that trade. So that's the tricky part with that one. The Nets could give the Trailblazers an offer that they would accept for Dame because they do have a lot of draft picks because of their recent trades, with the Kyrie trade and the Kevin Durant trade. So they possibly could, but from what his agent said, they're really moving towards Miami. But again, Portland also said they're willing to wait to make this deal happen to get the right deal, and I don't blame them. Because
Portland's doing what Brooklyn should have did with KD. Brooklyn essentially gave up KD for above average players. They're above average, but they're not superstars. Mikal Bridges isn't a superstar by any means. He's gonna be coming to a really good,
I think he will be
really
an
good player.
No,
For sure. As he's more comfortable in his leadership role, and with Cam Johnson as well too. They have a nice nucleus going on there, and Dinwiddie. I think that's a really, really good space for a Dame. I think I can see him there. You know what I'm saying? Like they're a Dame away from really making some real noise. And they do have pieces to go back to Portland, but Portland doing what I would have did if I had Kevin Durant. You know what I'm saying? As far as they gave him away for, I'm not giving. If it's not Booker, why am I trading him? Right?
Yeah.
He's a superstar.
You don't have to trade him.
Yeah, he's under contract for 3-4 more years. I want Booker. That's who I want. Yes. You know what I'm saying? If it ain't that, then it's not a superstar swap. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I think Brooklyn was in a tough spot though when that happened because remember he requested out right after Kyrie said I want out as well, and so the Nets kind of viewed it as like we're not going to win a championship if we don't have both these guys. So what's the point of holding on? But I understand your point of view on it as well. Like I want to get the best possible return back for a guy who's a top 2, top 3 player in the league. But I still think
because it's not rush. Like why am I? You're under contract for
right,
and if you don't play. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not going to get paid and you're going to be, we can, it's CBA rule. It's all of these things that you have in place.
But I still think they got a pretty decent return because, again, they got a bunch of first-round picks along with being able to get Mikal Bridges, who looks like a fringe all-star. So I think what the Nets did overall was pretty decent. You know,
It was the best that they can do,
right,
with losing Kyrie
and
and
KD,
Durant
right,
and James Harden and all these
Like,
people that they
remember,
had.
they had to make the move basically a week before the trade deadline. You know, on
Yes.
the flip side, you look at the Wizards. The Wizards got absolutely nothing back for Bradley Beal. You know what I'm saying? Like, when we talk about guys under contract and we could have made you wait, the Wizards were supposed to do what Portland's doing right now. The Wizards were supposed to say, no, we're going to hold out as long as possible because we have this whole summer to come up with the trade. We didn't have to trade you this week just because you said you want out this week.
You couldn't even got Ayton, and they don't even want Ayton in Phoenix.
What I said. You could have got Ayton, like you got Chris Paul, who you end up shipping off in another deal right after anyway.
Yeah, that's crazy. But I mean, they did end up with a Jordan Poole, who I
think about Jordan Poole.
He
got to learn how to duck first. Okay, that's the most important thing Jordan Poole need to learn how to do. He got to learn how to duck. But,
that's crazy.
We got another question for you. Shout out to Dion Hoops page. They want to know, did you play AAU ball coming up, win any titles, and how was your high school career?
Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, I like these. Yo, you guys got questions coming in now and everything. This is pretty dope, man.
Listen, hold on. For the people that don't know,
like this.
It's different. It's a different atmosphere now. You know what I'm saying? It's different now.
It's cool, man. It's cool. Cool vibes, man. So I didn't play too much AAU basketball growing up. I did play with Riverside Church a little bit my senior year. And in high school, I only played 1 year high school basketball, my senior year of high school. My story is insane. Like my story is, when I say it's insane, it's crazy. I'm gonna just try to run this down real quick. If you probably watched some of my interviews with you guys before, you probably got a little glimpse of that. So my freshman year, I went to a school that my junior high school used to have the ninth grade, so I stayed. So I wasted that year. My sophomore year, I broke my left wrist playing in Allen Gardens. So that was a wash. My junior year, I broke my left arm. So that was a wash. It was crazy. So I literally only had my senior year. So me going to D1 and breaking records. I'm actually out here in Vegas, and I bumped into my head coach who coached me. He's here. You know, one of my teammates, he's the assistant coach at Sacramento State now too. So he's here. And it was crazy how that happened. But yeah, they're actually here. I'm in the other room in the back doing this interview now. But my story is not like everybody else's. I didn't have the big success from AAU and stuff, and the big high school, big high school career. I did lead my team in scoring my senior year. I did lead them in assists and steals as well. I was all conference, first team all Queens, and honorable mention all city. But I literally had to put everything all in one year and package that up. But I feel like I did pretty good for myself, you know, but I had to take the stairs. I didn't take the elevator. So good question.
And I like this one. Hold on, Trip. Put Amani's question up there. I like this one for Haron as well, because I know Haron works with the youth, so he can definitely speak to this. Let me know if you can see the question, Haron. If not, I'll read it off to you.
Yeah, can you? Yeah, I'm like on my phone.
Got you. It says, to you, what has Steph Curry's impact on basketball been? And who is to all of y'all the Mount Rushmore of NBA game changers? So Amani is Jordan, Curry, Iverson, Magic, and Bird. So start with the first part of that question, because I know you coach the youth, you work with a lot of youth. How do you view Steph's impact on a game of basketball?
Oh, he changed the game. So he made it, you know, like he did something that his dad was unable to do. I think his dad, if he was able to have the green light, or if anybody for that instance, any of those shooters back in the day, you know, had that green light, would, like a Mitch Richmond, you know, they had these green lights, but it wasn't. Steph Curry got like the purple light. So he changed this game to a whole nother level, to where he made it acceptable to shoot bombs. You know, if he had to look over his shoulder every time he missed a shot, I don't think that he would have done it. So he couldn't have came into any better system than Golden State with a coach like Mark Jackson, who kind of empowered him to shoot and be that player, and kind of so and in that sense, his impact on the game of basketball is huge. So now you see everybody shooting. You see centers shooting. You see, players who not even that good at shooting. You know, he made it to where you have to have a 3-point shot now in this game. And second question, who the Mount Rushmore of the NBA game changers to me, of course, Michael Jordan. He changed the game. If you have an opportunity to see that movie Air, you'll see how him and Nike changed the game of even the shoes.
Check it out. Yeah.
Yeah, that movie is incredible. Allen Iverson, yep, he changed the game as well too. He made it more open for like regular players, right? You know, you didn't have that stigma of being a big 6'10" guy like in back in the days. It was all about the bigs, you know. And Allen Iverson changed that even with his crossover move. He changed the game there. You got some really good people there. Steph Curry with his long ball, shooting ability and kind of like taking it to that next level. I would say for the big Shaquille O'Neal, Shaq changed the game the way you look at a big man, and next I would say Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, you know, the way he was just his winning attitude and and leading the Lakers and these different organizations and these different teams, and also the way he stood up for himself and the black community. Those are my 5 game changers in the NBA.
I like it. I got a question for both of you guys actually, because I know you guys are both big Knicks fans. They honored Carmelo Anthony at the ESPYs. I thought it was so dope because you had LeBron, D Wade, and Chris Paul as the ones up on that stage doing it. Melo's officially retired now. Talk to me about Carmelo Anthony's impact on the game. Whichever one of y'all.
You go further.
So for me, I'm a big Melo fan. I think he was one of the most skilled players to ever come into the game over the last 25 years. His ability to score on all 3 levels from day one, have a post-up game as a young guy, bully ball, but also finesse. It's tough to quantify like his impact on the game because he never was a quote-unquote winner in the sense of winning the NBA Finals or playing in the NBA Finals. But overall, his skill set is one of the best the game has ever seen. And I think over the last 25 years, he is on the short list of best offensive players of all time.
I believe.
Yeah. So I would say, Melo's impact on the game is, pivotal. For him not to have won a championship, I don't think he, people, how like they look at people like say Karl Malone and John Stockton and people like that who didn't win championships, say a Patrick Ewing. I think Melo's like in a whole nother like level, and when it comes down to that, like I don't think people will kind of see him like, yo, he just didn't win a championship, but I think it would be more on like, yo, he really tried to win, and in one of the hardest places of them all, like a New York, New York City, especially when people were afraid to come to New York. I know he got traded there, but he wanted to get traded there, so he told them like, and he tried to do things that people wasn't up for the challenge for. He came to New York in a time where it wasn't cool to be playing with the Knicks. So Melo's game, like he was unstoppable. There's a lot of people who you try to emulate what he has done, but bully ball, he could go out there, shoot 3. His jab set, his footwork is impeccable. It's him and Kobe right 1 and 2 with footwork. And people don't. They'll see Melo and his body type and stuff, and they'll think that, oh yeah, he doesn't work. That dude works. He works, and I think that I would have loved to see Melo just play his career through, without those interruptions and those stoppages and the 10-game seasons, and that all get added on to him playing a certain amount of years that will, but they weren't all full seasons. You know what I'm saying? So I think that his impact will be heavy on the game. I don't think people will forget Carmelo Anthony. And I honestly wish that he had one more year that he could have played the game and freely, openly, and before he called it quits. But him not to be able to play and have to call it quits it sucks. It sucks, bro. He didn't get anything that he was supposed to get as far as even a farewell tour. That sucks. That part sucks.
Yeah, I'll say for Melo, I mean, I'm a big fan of Melo's, and I think he gave the Knicks everything he could. Unfortunately, Stoudemire couldn't stay healthy. Tyson Chandler started getting hurt.
I saw Tyson Chandler 2 days ago too, man. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
he was a big part of that. He could, just
But
that team, man.
the one thing I always wish for Melo, man, and I always had this argument with people because I think people overlooked how skilled Melo was just because he wasn't playing in Eastern Conference championships and NBA Finals. The two best seasons of Melo's career, he had true point guards. He had Chauncey Billups in Denver that year. He went to the Western Conference Finals, and he had
And
Jason
Jason
Kidd
Yep.
in New York that year, that
Yep.
really good year in 2013. Melo just needed a true point guard that could let him get to his spot so that Melo didn't have to initiate offense. Get to your spot, I got you. Because as you mentioned, Haron, Melo was damn near unstoppable. You know what I'm saying? Whenever he got on the block, wherever he wanted to get on the court, he could get there and score on you. But too often, the Knicks just gave him the ball and said, now go get it, as opposed to get to your spot and we'll get you the ball.
Yeah.
And that's tough.
I think with Melo, I think a big part of his impact comes in the form of the respect that he gets amongst his peers and how the players that played during his time in the NBA, the way they speak about Carmelo Anthony, I think that's probably the biggest part of his impact on the game. That, and I also think he the GOAT Olympic player, Olympic Melo, So shout out to Carmelo Anthony, great career. I'm glad that I was able to see him play, not only just see him on TV, but actually see him play, in person. So that's always going to be a big thing. He did a lot for New York. Unfortunately, they just didn't have the roster to get it done, health and other reasons. But definitely still had a great career, champion in college, champion in the Olympics. So shout out to Melo. Salute, stay Melo. Haron, we got another question we got a couple of questions for you. I'm gonna go to Deontay's question first because I know you do have a relationship with Rayful Austin, and he wants to talk about your relationship with Skip Tamalu.
So again, you bringing a few. I saw Skip in the airport when I came here to Vegas. His son was playing ball out here. It's a big weekend for AAU basketball, and so that's crazy that you bring that up. So Skip is he's one of those players I looked up to. Coming up, being from Queens, him being from Queens, him going to Cardozo High School, my rival school, and just I saw his impact. I watched his impact, and that's somebody that I tell every time I see him. It's just like it's an honor to see like your favorite player, and somebody that you watch. We used to run to Rucker games, in the summertime. We used to go to Rucker before there was the Instagrams and stuff like that. You had to go from word of mouth. What time? Imagine trying to find out what time a player's game is at Rucker randomly without a post or something like that they have up there, where they're promoting it, and still being packed out and still having to climb on trees and stuff. So Skip, I don't even think he knows the impact that he's really had on my career. I don't emulate his style, but more of the I'm just honored to have somebody from Queens doing these things. You know what I'm saying? And kind of taking it from street ball and then mixing it up into the professional game and stuff like that. Going to Fresno State in college and stuff where the crazy
NBA as well.
Yeah, having 100% a solid NBA career. And it's so Skip, my relationship with him is like I started off as just a fan, somebody that loved his game and loved watching him play, to actually being cool, where I can ask him to come, hey, have your team come play at the Ballin' for Peace game and stuff like that out in Houston last year and stuff. And now we have that relationship. Yo, Skip, can you, we talk and text, and when we do, he coached me during Ball Up. He coached me to happen. I hit 15 threes with that guy as my coach. That got me to the finale for Ball Up Street Ball. That's also that was on MSG. I actually saw the professor the other day too, where we was talking about that too the other day. But these things are, these things happen throughout the journey, and it's sometimes you look back and you kind of like, damn, this really happened. So but my relationship with Skip is pretty dope, pretty cool, and I look forward to continue to build with him as well too.
I'll go back. We got a question from Danelle Jackson. She wants to know during your high school playing career, who was the top players in the state, Any names we would know?
So during my time, it was guys like say Gary Irvin. He was Sebastian Telfair,
Okay.
Quincy Doobie. These are here in New York, New York City. These are city guys. You know, whew, Carmelo was, but he wasn't from New York, but he didn't play in New York. But Lenny Cook, but they're a little older than me, But these are the players. This is the era around that time, that people was talking about. So these are the people, the Steve Burt Juniors, the Kedrick Clarks, those type of guys who was playing during that time. So, and those are a lot of the guards. Big Shagari, who plays with, and you call him the cheat code. So these are people who I kind of keep it. The Aaron problem, Aaron Williams. I kind of still see them in that light, because that was my era of players, and that's why you always see them in the Ball for Peace game. I don't care how old they get, and if that's the only game they playing in the year, they're gonna play in Ball for Peace, So I kind of keep it there. But those were some of the guys, and you kind of could look up these people like Curtis Kelly, and the city was impactful. I just saw Andre Barrett. He was, again, a little bit older than me, him and Omar Cook, but these are people who I kind of looked up to. Darryl Hill, Showtime, Ryan Williams, and stuff like that. These are the people who had the city rocking. So congratulations to all of them. And, whether they still, had a big college career or not, they definitely had an impact in New York City culture.
Thanks. We got let me go. We got I guess it's a fitness question for you, Haron. They want to know about you. How often do you work out? They said you still in the gym putting up shots, but we'll talk to them. Talk to the people about that.
You look like you're still, bro. I mean, it's a lifestyle, man. I get to the gym. I try to get there at least 3 to 4 times a week. As far as me playing, I still so I was out here in Vegas playing in the FIBA 3-on-3, still getting invited to play in these things. So I got to look the part. I got to be able to, my name is H2O. I got to be able to shoot it and do what I got to do, and it's just like, I represent myself. If I want to show up for myself so that, if anybody asks me to show up for them, I'll be, I'll look the part as well too. But it's all about me first and foremost. I have to. This is just something that I installed in myself. My dad, he was big on fitness and stuff as well too. So he's still into it. My dad is still doing 500 push-ups a day, and my dad's 77 years old. You understand? So I just, those are things that you see, around your journey. So it's like, I have no choice. And my thing is, if my dad looking like that as he's 77, I want to, I got years,
Yeah, let him show you up.
Years ago, yeah. So I gotta keep that going, good question, thank you. But yeah, it's the journey. It's self-absorbed. You got to come and impact yourself before you can impact others. So I try to make that something that I do, all the time. I have not worked out one time since I've been in Vegas, and I've been here like four days. So but I've been playing basketball a lot out here.
Got you. I'm gonna go to Ron's question. Ron got 2 questions I'm gonna do back to back, but I'm gonna let you answer this question first, and then we'll talk Balling for Peace, because he wants to know about Balling for Peace. Well, he wants everybody else to know about Balling for Peace. For those that don't know, Haron says he saw A Butter on the show a few weeks ago. He doesn't lack confidence, but he wants to know, do you consider A Butter a New York street ball legend?
Yeah, for sure. I consider A Butter a New York City street ball legend. Bro, he went at Vince Carter. He killed, these are stories. No, this is real life that happened. Just you gotta understand, when you're a street baller, right? And I told people this all the time. The only difference why people call it street ball is because you're playing outside.
Yeah.
But it's real basketball. People are trying to win. I told the story the other day. My boy Nick, who runs the Venice Beach Basketball League, I remember I brought him. He was out in New York. He came to West 4th, and he's trying to do these tricks, spinning the ball. Dude was like, "Give me that ball," going down, throwing it and stuff. Like, yo, I said, Nick. He's like, "Yo, H, what are they doing?" I said, "Yo, Nick, it's it's basketball, bro. Like they really play out here. It's not no soft cookie cutter stuff. You got to hoop. So people confuse street ball and real ball, but I think A Butter is definitely a street ball legend. It's somebody you could go up and watch the Dykeman footage. I had to go through A Butter's team to get to the championship that I played against Kemba Walker. And I think A Butter had played with Skull Gang. So it's Kingdom All Stars versus Skull Gang and Dykeman basketball. It's in the playoffs. I had like 30 something points against them dudes as well too. So he's somebody who I also like looked at his game and kind of I didn't really take anything from his game, but just I commend him and his journey and what he has done for the game. And he's also he's somebody who he's been in the limelight a long time. Him and Smush Barker played in the backcourt together at Fordham as well. Fordham, him, Bob Hill was his coach and stuff. These are things that that I do. I kind of on that journey. He's a part of history. He played in Rucker when the NBA was live streaming the games, had the games on. That's unheard of. NBA. We used to rush home to watch these games and stuff like that. So yeah, NBA TV. They was on NBA TV back in the day. So yeah.
Shout out to Smush Parker as well. That's another past guest. Y'all can go into the archives and check that interview as well. We got to get Smush back up here soon though too. Maybe
okay.
It's out. We got to try to get Smush back up here because I know they're gonna have a lot of questions for Smush too. So we got to get him back up here.
Yeah, let's get him up here.
Yeah, shout out Haron, hit him with the light flex. Don't let it go over your head. When he said, I had 37 in the semifinal game.
Yeah, like it's just we beat them and we kind of
very nonchalant.
For a reason.
Yo, Haron said I pulled up to the park 10 minutes before tip off. I gave him 37. I had to get up out of there. I had to get up out of there real quick.
Nah, man, it was he was a little older than that time as well too. So I guess it looked like people how when they see me, but I still I love to still be able to impact a game. You know what I mean? I don't care to have the same. If I'm thinking about having the same impact that I had 10 years ago in the game now, I would be a fool. But just to come and keep winning, like I played so this summer. I was asked to play in a couple of different tournaments. After Bowling for Peace, after I hit the game winner, people came out the woodworks again, asking me to play ball. I've been doing the 3-on-3 stuff a lot. I don't really care for the 5-on-5 game as much anymore.
Yeah.
So I've been doing that and staying in shape for that. But people see me out and they ask me. So I've been playing with my guy Silver, who was Silver's All Stars, who was the team that was one of my rival teams. I actually saw him out at an album listening party or something like that. Yo, H, pull up. So I'm like, all right, yeah, I'll pull up. So he actually called me out on it and literally called me to play. So he's like, yo, can you make it to Tri-State today? I was like, oh, yeah, I can make it. So I was already out somewhere. I came. We played against one of the top teams, Gas Wars, and we had them throughout the entire game. He played me the whole game. And maybe that was something that I kind of needed with just that boost and just to playing street ball again, because it kind of got watered down and it was just a place where I didn't really care to continue to play because I didn't feel like they respected what I did, know, and so they just look for all the new guys and all that other stuff, and they don't really honor their legends in New York, but in California and other places they honor. Like even here, I'm in Vegas and it's like, you shower down with, congratulations and I see yous and stuff like that. And I think that we got to get better with that in New York. It's it kind of sucks. I remember playing against Corey Williams, Homicide, and these guys and Kareem Reeds and stuff. And I felt like we still honored them, when they was on the court, even when I was coming up as a youngin'. These are guys, these guys who was coming up, Sharif Fordhams and Junie Sanders, we kind of honored them. I feel like now, you step on the court, H2, oh, hey, what's up, H? But it's not that.
Yeah.
It's almost like, yo, oh, you still hoop? oh, okay, like it's a little bit different. No, I'm being dead serious.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
it's so other than places like when I go to Venice Beach, it's like, yo, we get an opportunity to still see this guy step on the court and do something, So, I hope I answered that question. What was that?
Yeah, that
Was
was
that
that,
the
that, that was it for the most part. Let's talk bowling for peace because I know people wanna hear more about that. Specifically though, because I want you to go in. We can talk about the basketball game, and then get ready to talk about the baseball game. But there was a special guest at this year's basketball game who,
Mhm.
in my opinion, kind of set this bowling for peace a little bit
Separate?
above
Yeah.
all the other bowling for pieces because you had the legend. We say legend, but we talking about this lady here. She might have been the biggest legend that to grace bowling for peace.
My this ain't even a question. This
That's not a
is.
question. I was trying to be, but Miss Whoopi
Yeah,
Goldberg
yeah,
was at Bowling for Peace this year, and not only was
yeah.
she at Bowling for Peace, she was in the stands with the people for a minute.
The whole time,
On the
yeah.
court for a minute. She embraced every single person that was at Bowling for Peace. Anybody that wanted a picture, wanted to come up and say hi, she was so dope. Talk to us about Bowling for Peace and about Whoopi Goldberg and how that whole thing came about.
Shout out to Whoopi Goldberg, man. Like seriously, like yo, shout out to Whoopi Goldberg, right? You saying that is kind of crazy,
It's
right?
crazy.
It's so like
She likes
I don't
basketball. We know
really,
she does because she did the movie Eddie.
yeah, Eddie, right? And his sister Mary Clarence, right? So shout out to her, man. First and foremost, it was a blessing to have Whoopi Goldberg at Bowling for Peace this year. It was an honor. That was by far the biggest supporter, the biggest celebrity to come to Bowling for Peace. Uh, I say that made me know who's really who.
Mhm.
You think you're a celebrity till a celebrity walks in the building. You know what I mean? Like,
Fact.
she said our impressions on it was crazy. Summer Jam was that next day, but we were still getting so many impressions from Ballin' for Peace from all of the people who was taking pictures with her, who was tagging Ballin' for Peace, tagging Whoopi. It was insane. We had like over 1 million something impressions. It was insane. Like our Instagram was going crazy. Our mentions on social media was going crazy. So shout out to her first and foremost for coming. Her granddaughter Amara, we got to get her on the show as well too. She's a dope artist. Like she paints and draws and stuff, and it's super dope. And she sells her art. I met her about 3 years ago, and we kind of kept in touch. We've been keeping in touch here and there, tapping in. But again, remember it's COVID at that time, so I always wanted to have her in the game. Amira was on a show. It was almost like it was on Hulu. You had to find out who celebrity relative who they're related to. So she was on that show. Can't remember the name of the show right now. I didn't really watch it, to be honest with you, but she was on the show, and a lot of people kind of knew her from that, but she hasn't really done too much, as far as that's concerned, and kind of getting her name out there. And I look at it as now she's like a brand ambassador for Bowling for Peace as well too. So she's a brand ambassador for Bowling for Peace, and she will be doing a lot more. She'll be playing in the softball game as well too. So she told me that her grandmother wanted to come,
Yeah.
and she's like, yeah, my grandma wants to come. I'm like, oh, okay, cool, sure, right?
Like if I'm supposed to say no to
Yeah,
that, like
yeah, like yeah, for sure, like
at an age
yeah, have her
she don't want nobody to go.
so yeah, like so yeah, yeah, for sure, yeah, she could pull up, So
How you gonna tell Whoopi to pull up? You gonna tell
yeah, like
Right.
yeah, for sure, she can come.
Yeah.
Come on, like
H played it back. Cool. Yeah. I think
yeah,
we get. I think we get in there. I think we
I
get
think
in
we
there.
get in there. We got some seats for and everything. Like yeah, we can make it happen. No, but so she invited me over. Like she lives in Jersey and stuff like that. So I was at Whoopi Goldberg's house. You know what I mean? And we was chilling. She introduced me to her formally before the event. Good woman, good spirit. I told her a little about Ballin' for Peace and stuff like that. But I think her actually when she came, and I knew she was coming, but I didn't announce it. I don't think I told you, and I don't maybe. Matter of fact, I did. I think I
no. You did tell
yeah
me. Yeah, you
On
did.
the back, yeah, because you was been with me,
I ain't
doing
blow
these promo.
just so y'all know.
Yeah. So we was doing these promo runs, and I kind of was, I really was, I didn't want to say too much about it. And she came, but I think her coming to the event actually, she was able to see it. Like, yo, this is dope. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what? How didn't like? I would love to help out. Like, and our conversation, even if you watch it on replay, she's like, she wants to, she wants to help. She
Yeah.
wants to even get this even bigger and better. So, we're gonna have that conversation. We're gonna sit and have that conversation. So shout out to Whoopi Goldberg. Shout out to Amara, for making that happen. And the best has yet to come. It's gonna be a lot more. And again, this, like I tell people all the time, the right yes can change everything. And I think more people knowing about what we're doing can definitely help us, grow.
And we're gonna Mike's Hoop page. We're gonna get to his question in just a minute. Haron, just tell everybody that on the live right now. Give them the info for the Bowling for Peace versus NYPD softball game that's going down at the end of the month on July 30th.
So yeah, that event will be going down July 30th across the street from Yankee Stadium, where the old Yankee Stadium used to be. It's a nice big baseball field there. Shout out to my guy Kai Bowen, Lieutenant Bowen. We went to high school together, campus magnet, also from Queens.
We went to college together, me and Kai too. Shout out to Kai, man.
Yeah. So he's a dope dude, man, with a big heart. You know what I'm saying? And it's a small world, because I didn't even know y'all went to school. You're like, oh yeah, I know, yeah. And then I called her, like, yeah. It's a small world. Shout out to him. And what I'm doing with the NYPD is just trying to bridge that gap, man. There's just so much negative, tension between cops and community, and we piss so much. Again, I'm a black male, right? As you can see, I'm black, right? It is tough, driving and having to worry about stuff. And even every time you see a cop, you kind of flinch up a little bit. You driving, you doing nothing wrong. You still kind of like, oh, what? Yeah. And they're supposed to protect and serve us. So we got to kind of like, we got to figure something out. And that's what all these games are about. When we're doing the peace games and the rallies and the marches and stuff, I think those rallies and marches is kind of like, it's old school ways. So it's like, I want to, get people to come together. So what better way is that? Through sports, right? So again, now we're playing against them. We're trying to get them back. We're trying to be, but it's more about the networking, mingling, talking, seeing the human aspects that we have. And I think if we do more stuff like that, you get some of your people from the community, actually, cops from your community policing, that'll be a lot better as well too. And these are the talks that I want to have with the mayor and everything like that as well. So, the more that I kind of do with the NYPD, the better. You know what I'm saying? So that's gonna be July 30th. It's our second annual softball game versus NYPD Bowling for Peace All-Star. We kind of trying to get some real baseball players this time. So maybe some Dominicans or something like that.
Retirement for this one. Eric said.
Okay. Yo, E, what's up, man?
If you need a second baseman or a shortstop, I'm available. I'm gonna bring my gloves. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, come on, man. We need you, bro.
But Haron, I want to tell you, since we have you on the show here, because we had the episode right before Bowling for Peace, and I was upset because I wasn't gonna be able to get up to the city for it. But I said it on air then. But I want to tell you now that we have you on air, man. I commend you for all the work you're doing in the community. My first Bowling for Peace was the 3rd annual, and even though COVID slowed things down for you, the way you were able to pick up steam again and everything you're doing in the community, the way you're working with the youth. For anybody who is a supporter of Real Fans, Real Talk, if you've never been to Bowling for Peace, you got to get out there, because it's an atmosphere like none other, man. It's a special event, and I'm so happy to see how you continue to just grow the brand, bro.
Yo, bro, it was during COVID, it was like, you can't do anything, bro. It kind of, for somebody who's a doer. And I put myself in that category as a doer. I like to get things done. I don't really like to talk too much. COVID helped in a sense because I was able to kind of breathe a little bit, think about what I'm doing next, kind of get my paperwork together as far as becoming a full-fledged 501c3. Before that, it was Bowling for Peace was under the H20 basketball brand. It was the charitable division of H20 basketball. Now it's its own entity, its own 501c3. We're able to get grants and funding. We just need more opportunities to get grants and funding. So at the end of the day, it's a beautiful thing for me. It's like a challenge for me, bro. It's a life journey. Like I spoke on another podcast and I was talking about, he was like, so, you don't really have a dollar amount. I said, you can't put a dollar amount to what you're going to do for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Like, what's the goal? Like if you want to, I was on a plane flying here to Vegas and, just having conversation with somebody. He's Italian people. They were, we were just talking and stuff, and they donated right on the spot. They're like, yo, this is fire, this is dope. Like they went to the website, they was like, yo, this is, yo, right away. They said, oh, this is friendly too with the web. Oh, you have Apple Pay. This is what? Like and just like that. But it's and kind of explain it to your own. It's people who who know that it's amazing. They kind of, and I spoke about private love. It's a lot of people who show private love. Like, yo, H, what up? Yo, that's fire. Privately. Cool. Got it. Thank you, brother. But at the end of the day, publicly, shout out, doing the testimonial. Yeah, I came to Bowling for Peace. It was incredible. Those things kind of catch fire. Those catch flames. And, those are things that we kind of need, us as an organization to continue to grow. And I commend you guys and thank you guys for always supporting Bowling for Peace and being the official media for Bowling for Peace, day in and day out, year in and year out.
One more time, Haron, would you say to that? Say that again?
Come on. This is public stuff. I've said this all the time. You're with me all the time too. So cut it out, man.
I know I got to repeat this because sometimes people be places and they don't be understanding. Sometimes.
Yeah.
I want you to repeat it because I'm gonna have to make that into an Instagram clip so they know. For my idea again, I'm gonna show this my idea.
So for Instagram, for all over, you can show this clip and make it into a reel, whatever you want to do. The official media for Bowling for Peace, real fans, real talk. You know what I'm saying? It's official media partners for Bowling for Peace.
Facts. Make sure you guys, if you're available on July 30th, definitely try to come out to the Soul.
It's free. It's free to come out too, man. Come out. If you want to play, you got to, the donation. But yeah, you'll be great.
Facts. And now, since we just broke the news that Eric is playing second base for Team Bowling for Peace, it's y'all definitely got to get out there, man. Come out and support. It's for a good cause. And I think honestly, the best part is that camaraderie that you can bring the people together with the NYPD and really kind of be on a human to human level as opposed to cop and pedestrian. This is more of a just person to person, and you can kind of interact and really, because we do need to know the police that are working in our city, in our neighborhoods, in our boroughs. We should have some type of rapport with them, because that's the only way that things can actually change in the communities that we come from. So definitely, if you're available, come out to Bowling for Peace. July 30th is going to be in the Bronx, right across the street from Yankee Stadium, and there's going to be some bowlers out there too playing baseball. So you definitely want to be in the building.
Also, one other thing, we have the gaming. We got gaming stations. We got the rock climbing wall, the bouncy houses for the kids. There's a lot of stuff that's going on, and all the vendors that are going to be there as well too. A lot of food, drinks, everything. So come out and have a good time.
Definitely. Really quick, I just want to make sure you guys at home, make sure that you guys are, if you haven't already, throughout the course of this show, go on Instagram and follow at Ballin for Peace. BALLIN, the number 4 Peace. And also follow Haron H205 on Instagram as well, so that you guys can stay in, to know what everything that's going on with Bowling for Peace. You can get that schedule. Let me knock out a couple of these questions, because I know that they be getting mad we don't get to all the questions.
Listen, man, they loving H right now. It's a lot of questions in here for them.
Yeah, so we're gonna run through these. Shout out to Mike's Hoop page. He says, Michael Jordan, did he have any impact on you growing up at all? And where do you rank Michael Jordan at all time?
Oh, that's easy. Michael Jordan's the number 1 basketball player to ever play the game of basketball, by far. I think that he's had an impact not on my journey, but so many others. He's had impacts on your favorite player's favorite player. You understand? Like he is the guy who everyone looked up to. even players he played against, they used to look up to him. You know what I'm saying? And they kind of, they tried to. He was the standard. So Michael Jordan had a huge impact, but also another person who had an impact on my career was Scottie Pippen. He was one of my favorite players of all time. Yeah, he's one of my favorite players of all time. And I think he's here today, right now. So I'll probably try to get a picture with him too. So you'll see that. But Scottie Pippen, he was my favorite player, right? Because I loved his game. I know he liked to he defend the best players. He did what he had to do. And when he actually led the Bulls in scoring and stuff like that, I would be, like, yo, Pip did it tonight. You know what I'm saying? And that was, but Jordan had a huge impact on my game. And like I said, everybody else's as well, too. His work ethic and, the fact that it just looked different, bro. It looked different. And watching the Last Dance kind of, reiterated that for me and just let me know that I wasn't wrong for how I thought when I was a kid.
No, you wasn't wrong. My MJ is the GOAT. He is that guy. Shout out to Lashina. I hope I'm saying your name right.
Man, we back on this topic, man.
Dave,
You got
to get to the questions.
No. I know, but there's another one pertaining to the whole Jalen Green joint here as well from last week. So that's why I'm laughing. Haron, they had us in here talk. We had to really go into the whole Miles Turner outfit at Summer League thing. But go ahead, man.
Did you see the picture of Miles Turner at Summer League with the?
I did not see Miles Turner at Summer League.
I think we got the picture up here. Let me see if I get the picture back up.
Okay.
But let me just read the question. H20, it seems that you're tapped in with the youth, which he is because he does a lot of work with our youth in the community. What's the deal with dudes being so girly in terms of clothes? I know you saw Miles Turner's outfit. What happened to the manly era? I'm gonna try to pull that picture up on the screen. I think we still got it here. Oh, you can hold on. Let me see if I can maneuver this so we can see that picture.
It was very questionable fashion.
Yeah,
I don't know if you're gonna be able to maneuver it enough to so you can see the picture in the background.
Yeah, hold on. Oh my goodness. All right, we're gonna work this thing
out.
Oh
wait, I see a white shirt.
Nah, that's him with the pink pants on.
You got the pink pants on?
I can't see.
You don't have to send it to him.
I'm in my way.
Directly.
Yeah, you know what? Let me
but I can't. If you send it to me, I gotta go and look at. I'm on my phone.
Oh yeah, it's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, so
I'm gonna send it to you after the show. I'm gonna send it to you. But it was. I'm gonna just because I don't want to offend anybody, so it was a little zesty. I'm gonna say that.
Zesty.
Yeah,
a little
zesty. Yeah.
Little Uzi Verdish?
No, I think it might have been worse than anything I've seen Uzi wear.
I'm just saying the demeanor.
But yeah, it was his whole the whole demeanor was kind of, So we had a discussion about that last week. So they just want to, I guess, they want to get your input.
So I just feel like even with I think that we're just. It's the free era, right? People are just free. They're more free to do what they want. And people like myself who kind of try to hold that, try to be an alpha male. It's kind of like we're in the minority, right? We're the minority now. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody said, I think it was Murder Mook. He said if everybody's wearing skinny jeans and you're still wearing baggy jeans, who's right?
Yeah.
Like, who's the outcast? Who's the outcast? If we're like, you know what I'm saying? But it's bruh, like, are we the outcast now? Like, are we the people who kind of just not jumping on board with the nonsense that's happening right now? But
we the old heads now. We the old heads now. We don't get it. We don't get it. You know what I'm saying? We don't get it.
That's kind of crazy to me. But I would say, like, yeah, it's bro, I think they put so much more emphasis into their actual, like, what they're wearing and stuff into their game. At the end of the day, like, I think I would take, like, the Rasheed Wallace approach. He used to just come to games like he don't care what he went. You know what I'm saying? Hoodies, sweats.
He didn't care.
Playing ball.
It was nothing.
You know what I'm saying? I'm here to win, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why are we all trying to play the same way? Why are we all, So at the end of the day, I think it's from a lack of, like, role models, like people who kind of, led the way. Not too many people, not too many veterans, nowadays. Not too many vets out here, even in the games. Like, they don't they don't like to have vets. Like that's why I think Miami is, did very well, because they still have like, Haslam, in the locker rooms with them, not just
Yeah,
coaching them. You know what I'm saying? He's actually there with them, pushing them like, yo, come on.
yep,
It's a
exactly.
little different.
All right, hype ballers hoops says, Ron, as you getting older, what parts of your game isn't the same as when you was 25, and what age frame did you see a low decline, maybe in speed bounce? Let me Before you answer that, let me just say this for y'all that don't know: the jump shot is always the last to
Oh,
go, and H definitely still got the jump shot going. I
H,
can vouch for that.
right. As
Yeah.
H would say, shooters is gonna shoot. Shoot is
Oh,
shoot,
she's
baby.
gonna shoot. We're
Yeah,
gonna
shoot is
shoot.
shoot.
And you don't think, right? I'm not thinking about my last 10 misses that I had or something like that. So, um, you just it's a comfort thing. It's I'm sorry, like a confidence thing. As long as I would say my decline was more or less from an injury. I tore both my lateral meniscus in my right and left leg. So a lot of people don't really know that about me. So I haven't. Oh, I would say, in my speed area, like the last 8 years. You know what I'm saying? And then when you're not as active, I still run, I still do the things, but I'm not working out 2 and 3 times a day like I used to. And I'm stretching, I'm doing what I gotta do to maintain a nice, core or like, but I'm not in the physical tip top shape that I would want to be in, and if I usually do it around if I got something happening, if I had a tournament, if I got to get ready to go overseas and stuff. So those things used to amplify my workouts. But now, as I'm getting older, it's not as many things that I'm doing as far as playing the game, but my workouts are more basic as far as, just physically fit, keeping my weight down, and, keeping some muscle on me. But I would say in the last 8 years, and a decline. But for me, in my mind, it's like I can get back to that. I want to get back to that. So how do I get back to that? So I'm trying new things. I tried something called Goda. It's like more of a stretch and physical. You got to stay in poses a little bit longer. And for me, I'm shaking on poses and stuff like that. But that drives me to get better, to help me continue to get out there. Like I'm gonna start putting a lot more of my games up there where I'm gonna be playing, and especially now that I'm gonna be playing, I kind of dimmed my light the last couple of years, even in street ball, and a test to that where I kind of push other guys
Yeah.
to being that veteran guide and kind of giving them the light that they didn't have, and not playing as much, But I can play, so now I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna keep doing it at least this summer. You know what I'm saying? So when I get back, I got a couple of games that I'll be playing in, and so I would say again the decline to answer the question maybe the last 8 years, um, but on the speed level, but the jump shot, is still there.
All right, I'm gonna come back to Deontay, Janetta. We're gonna get to y'all questions as well, but I want to throw Courtney's question up here because we got to show respect to the ladies. Before we get to this question, let me just I gotta shout out Sabrina Ionescu. She broke the record, shattered the record. 20 straight threes made to win the 3-point shootout at the WNBA All Star Weekend, and also shout out to Team Brianna Stewart. They definitely got the dub in that game, and Jewel Lloyd was the MVP. She also set the record with 31 points, which is the highest of any WNBA player in the All Star game. So I just wanted to shout a couple of people out before you answer that, and then now we're gonna get to Courtney's question. Female basketball players over the years. Name maybe your fave 5 female players you've ever seen play.
So 5 I've ever seen play. It doesn't have to be WNBA, but I'm gonna give you some people who I've actually seen in person. My homegirl Renee Taylor, she is
Mm,
super dope. I
shout
would
out.
say Shout out to Renee Taylor. She's a beast, man. She didn't make it to the WNBA, but she should have. She's one of the best female basketball players I've ever seen. Forget female. One of the best basketball players I've ever seen play basketball. Period. The end. Nikki Avery, her motor is incredible. She does a lot. Like she's almost like me in the sense of like she's a woman form of me. She does so much with the community, her hip hop stuff, going overseas, just involved with Nike, this, that, and the third, and still lace them up and go after it and do what you got to do. Nikki Avery, Sue Bird, Diana Taurasi, and Candace Parker.
Mm,
So those girls are on my level.
mm.
They're on my top five. Nikki and Renee.
And let me say this because when we're talking about female hoopers, this isn't the first time that somebody came on the show and mentioned Nikki Avery. When we had Mike Larry on the show, he also spoke about Nikki Avery, and that's also family to the show. So we're gonna have to bring Nikki up here because they've been asking us to get a couple of female hoopers up here. So I
And
might
get
bring
her.
Nikki and Renee on the same day.
Yeah.
They're like best friends anyway. So I might try to get both of them up at the same time to come on the show and talk to you guys since y'all been asking for a couple of the female hoopers, and they're two of one of the most known female ballers like currently
And
still balling in New York City right now.
they're winners, man. They win, man. They don't let these young girls get. These
At
young
all,
girls have no chance, bro.
at
It's
all.
so they still winning, man. They still, you talk about they not letting go of that crown. That
They,
shit is like this. It's like
they won last
tucked on.
summer. I want to say they were.
They won They won Rucker. They won West Fork. They win all of them.
I forget the team. I don't want to say the wrong name. Is it No Limit? I'm not sure if it's No Limit or not. Nah, I forget the name of the team, but they won like 5 championships last year throughout the city. So
Yeah.
big shout out to Nikki Avery and Renee. We're gonna have both of them on the show very soon, so you guys can get to chop it up with them. Let me go to Deontay's question. Haron, have you ever met any basketball players that maybe had you on awe or nervous?
Nah. To be honest with you, I've never been nervous, man. Like to be honest, like I meet people on a regular basis, and it's just, again, my mindset is a little bit different. It's like we're all human. We're all human, bro. Like there's nobody there is someone. He's not an NBA player. He's somebody I want to meet, I'm surprised it hasn't happened yet. I want to meet Omar Epps because I've had so many comparisons to him that I look like him so much. No, I'm so serious that I want to. That's a fun fact. I would like to meet Omar Epps, invite him out to Bowling for Peace or something like that. We have so many. His mom was a teacher, just like my aunt and my mom, and they all are friends. And it's like, yo, like, yeah, I need to meet this. I need to meet his son. Well, yeah, we'll make that happen. But I've never been nervous. The only time I actually where a moment where I kind of was like in awe was when I played at UCLA. I was like, yo, but it was more from a type of me coming from South Side Jamaica, Queens, playing 1 year high school basketball and playing at UCLA. You know what I'm saying? I made it, and leading my team in scoring, going into the game and stuff. It was like that was surreal to me. So that was like a moment that kind of got me a little, like anxious and stuff, and having some of my coaches from years past coming up and showing up for me.
Facts. We got a couple more questions. I'm gonna get these last two in from Janetta
Yeah.
and Courtney. Got one more question because we definitely in overtime right now. Let me see. Janetta says, Ron and the fellas, what's your thoughts on Josh Christopher laying on the bedspread? Pause.
We talked about this last week.
And Jalen Green grinding him. I know kids go around, but that's shaky and that's on social media forever. You're right. That will not go away. I'm gonna say pause again, and one more time. I'm gonna say pause just because we gotta pause that whole
And
situation.
hold on. After this one too, I know we got one more from Courtney. I want that hoop baller scoop question to get
Okay.
asked as
Yeah.
well. Yeah.
That'll be so. Hoop baller scoop. Your question is gonna be the last one we get to for the day. If we do miss a question and somebody writes something in, I will talk to Haron and I'll get him to answer the question and we'll post
Yeah.
it on the Facebook page if there's anything else.
Yo, I love all this interaction, man. This is cool, man. I'm serious. This is cool, bro. I remember when they used to have to write it in, and then we had to used to
We've
write it
evolved.
in.
We've evolved
You
now.
know,
We've evolved.
that's we used to have the questions. They had to get them in by a certain time. Now this
Facts.
is
That was
cool. I like this.
with the guests on air. So
100%. That's fire. Super pause again. That's it, man. I don't really have too much to say about that. I mean, listen, if that's the way you want to live your life, live your life. But Again, we really don't know what's going on with these, their mindsets and how they play around or what's ayo or what's we used to do things like that. I remember he'd be like, yo, good game, smack you on the butt or something like that. But that's flagrant, that's different, so that's all I'm gonna say about that. Because if you're not that way, then you shouldn't act that way. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, I can't. I gotta, I can't say too much about that stuff. But there, I don't think that you don't play around like that if you're not that way.
Yeah, I'll say this. Be careful what images you put out into the internet. That's what I'll say.
100%.
Careful what images you put out because, as she said, they're not going anywhere anytime soon.
Yeah.
So just be conscious of what images you're putting out, and that's all I'm gonna say. And I'll just say I'll finish that segment one more time by saying pause, and we're gonna get to the next.
Hey yo, Scott Hall. Hey yo.
Hey yo.
Hey yo.
All right. Well, yeah, you said you wanted to get to hoop ball or scoops question. Oh, okay.
Yes.
So he wants to know your thoughts on Marquise Noel and chances of him being on an NBA roster. We spoke about him. Is that what combo we spoke?
Nah,
we gotta get his dad on here too. We gotta get Taz on here.
Let's get his dad. If we get his dad on here, we would love to get his dad on here.
We'll get his dad on here as well. His dad is one of the people who gave me my nickname, H20 at Kingdom.
We got to get into that. Yeah, we got to get his dad on here. But we spoke about Marquise when Mike Lowry was on.
There you go. Okay.
It was because it was right before the draft.
Yes.
Yo, Lo, come here, man. Come here. This is my come here real quick. Nah, just say it was this my college teammate, Sacramento State. He's actually
this is head coach.
This is the assistant coach now. Come say what's up. Assistant coach, my guy Lo Lee, my backcourt mate at Sacramento State. Now he's assistant coach at Sacramento State.
What's going on, man?
Yeah. So shout out to him. You know what I mean? But yeah, so my thoughts on Marquise Noel, I think he deserves the opportunity. He deserves a shot. I'm thinking, I would love for him to get in that position and just over at Toronto and just getting the keys handed to him. I would love to see that, from a fan standpoint as well too, and just from like a New York standpoint. I would love to see him be able to get that bump and see what he can do on the grandest stage of them all. Like literally, as a rookie, go out there and see what can happen. Which to hide everything and just, no chains, no barriers. Let's just play basketball because he's a basketball player. He's a great point guard, but he's a great player, right? He's a winner. He wants to win. And he has that determination, that attitude. And I don't think his height should have anything to do with what he can do on that basketball court.
Yeah.
And so I think that if given the opportunity, he has a chance. If given the opportunity.
I hope he gets it because we love those type of stories. So I definitely hope he gets that opportunity because I do think if he gets an opportunity to showcase, what he can do, I think we'll see him on an NBA roster. But it is about him being able to get that moment to actually showcase what he can do on that level. And I think that he can. What we got? I see right here. Hold on, let me get to. Yeah. He has a two-way contract. He's not the first guy to have a two-way contract, and we've seen several players come in on two-way contracts. And
I get signed. Yeah.
One of them we just saw get what was it 4 years and 50? Was it 56 million? Yeah. So
Austin Reeves, Alex Caruso. There's been plenty of guys who have gotten a two-way and parlayed that into a long-term deal. So all he needs is an opportunity.
Facts. All right, let me get to Courtney's last question. Have y'all heard of Nisha Butler? I'm not sure if that's her name. She's from New York, went to Georgia Tech. If it's the player I'm thinking about, she was in the WNBA.
She played with the Liberty.
Yeah, okay, because I'm not
with the Liberty.
I'm bugging, yeah.
I think injuries did derail her career, but she was with the Liberty for a little bit.
Yeah. She's also doing other stuff too. She's doing like a little bit of acting. She does some stuff. So I think she's still doing well for herself. I mean, it's unfortunate because we've seen injuries, take some really great players from us, and stunt a lot of careers.
Oh,
So
then it must be another Nisha Butler then, because I know there was a Nisha Butler with the Liberty. You said from the 90s though. Unless
yeah.
that's somebody else then.
So then, okay, so then I'm not familiar. The one I do, because there's Anisha Butler that did play, yeah, for the Liberty. So maybe she's talking about. All right, so we're gonna have to do a little bit of research
We'll
on.
do our homework. So send us some stuff. Send us some stuff on her.
Listen, and guys, we're gonna get together with Haron in 2 weeks for Balling for Peace softball game. Any questions you guys have, send them over to us, because when we're in person with him, we'll chop it up and we'll make sure he answers those questions as well then.
Or y'all could just pull up to Balling for
Or
Peace,
even better,
questions right then and there, and be like, "Yo, Haron, when you was on Real Fans Real Talk, I had this question, and they didn't get to it. I need you to answer that right now."
I'm definitely not ducking the smoke. You know what I am out as well too. You know, I want to make sure that we got this interview in, by any means. And my brothers, we're on a 3-hour time
Yo, we really
difference
are
right
in
now as well too.
states right now. So
Yeah. So,
West Coast, East Coast, and then we in the middle. Eric is in the middle of the map right now.
Yeah. So we making it happen. It's the show must go on. Ant was on it. He made sure that we got this again. So I appreciate the question, guys. Seriously, the fan support, that's pretty dope, man. I love that. I love that for what's going on now, man. It's a pretty dope experience, and it makes the conversation that much better.
Hoopballer Scoop. I had the. I haven't heard from Sebastian Telfair. The last time I did hear, I know he was supposed to be doing some time, but I believe he did come home, if I'm not mistaken. I believe he was home. But that was the last I've heard about Sebastian Telfair. So that was the last time I heard, but I believe he was home. That's all I can say. I don't know if Ron anything in regards to Sebastian recently.
No, I haven't heard much about Sebastian Telfair situation. I did see about a whole bunch of those guys, but I saw them all out. With that whole legal issue that was
Yeah, that's what I'm
happening.
saying. Yeah, so
I seen them all.
You know what
Chilling.
happens?
Like, I saw
The
big
COVID
baby
throw
Dave.
us off because we forget the COVID years happened. So
Yeah, that happened. So they probably did what they had to do. I saw
yeah,
Tony Allen playing in the big three. I saw Big Baby Davis. I seen Dante. I seen everybody. Like, so it's like, so hopefully everything has cleared. I know Sebastian, with his brother passing and all that. That kind of can shift your whole mindset, bro. So people don't really understand how the impact of a loss and your life can have on you. Somebody, especially that you talk to every day, is around you every day. Kind of keep you sane, keep you zen. I felt that very early on in my life when I lost my mom and my grandmother and my godbrothers and so many different people in my life. But it kind of just was more. I kind of flipped it into what else is, into me being fearless, and just like I lost some of my biggest losses in my life that, if what else, you know what I'm saying? So what else I got to do but continue to go and build and grow and just be better, you know what I'm saying? But it is difficult. It is difficult at times, but we just, we got to keep going.
facts. All right. So listen, really quick, Karan, I'm gonna let you give us a final thought. So you.
Final thoughts, never let up, never give in, man. Just, continue to show up for yourself, so that you can show up for others. These are my final thoughts, and I appreciate you guys. I hope that, we continue these things, and I know that you guys will keep growing the show and until we start getting, millions and billions of views and stuff like that. And, this is a amazing show, and I'm glad that I'm always one of the first people to kind of be on these shows, not to mention another show, but Courtside. They have a show called Courtside on Clash TV now, and that was their first guest. It's like, when it's time to see a show, it's like, yo, let me get H20, and I'm honored by that. That means that something's happening good. So you guys can check that out, and let's try to run this up once this come out. We're gonna run up these views. Everybody share this live. I mean, share this this taping as well too. when it comes out.
Hit that like button too, man. For all y'all that's on the live rocking with us.
Y'all on the live ask the question. You got to like, and you should have been sharing too.
Right, facts. Eric, you got a final thought for us?
Of course, as always, man. I want to thank all the supporters, man. Y'all could be anywhere in the world, but y'all rocking with us. We greatly appreciate it, man. Shout out to our brother Haron Hargrave for rocking with us one more time, man. And we looking forward to July 30th. Again, if you're in the New York City area, if you're within driving distance, man, you got to pull up July 30th. We're right by Yankee Stadium. It's going to be an amazing event. Balling for peace. We're looking forward to it, man.
Facts. Even if you just come in to see Eric play second base, you got to pull up. You know what I'm saying? It's going down.
As soon as I pull up, they're going to be like, oh, Jose Reyes is back. They're going to think Jose Reyes is back. It's going to be like the good old days. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you know what I'm saying? We out there, man. But I'm looking forward to it. And everybody, again, man, pull up, enjoy the atmosphere. Come out there. You can ask Haron your questions directly. You can just enjoy the environment, see who else might pull up, because he always got some surprise guests. So you never know who's going to be there.
Never know. It's free. Free 99. Pull up.
There you go. Bring the kids out. It's a family event.
Bring the kids. We got all the games and video game, everything. So make sure you guys come out. We got a free clinic as well too. That's gonna be going down. Shout out to Wilson as well. Shout out to Wooter uniforms.
Absolutely.
That's that.
I'm gonna just take my final thought. I'm just gonna run through a couple of shout outs. DeAndre Hopkins signed with the Tennessee Titans. Don't know why, but he signed with the Tennessee Titans. Congratulations to Vladimir Guerrero Jr. He did take the this year's home run derby and also the National League. Congratulations. They won the MLB All-Star game. Well, shout out to those guys. Oh, and welcome home to Javonte Tank Davis. He has officially been released from prison, and he's about to get back to work. And whoever his next opponent be, whether it be Shakur Stevenson, Devin Haney, whoever it is, he's looking for that smoke. So big shout out to Javonte Davis. With that being said, make sure that you guys are subscribed to both the Sanchez Show and the Real Fans Real Talk podcast, streaming on all major platforms. Make sure you guys are following us on all our social media, Instagram, Twitter at Real Fan Talk, Facebook.com/Real Fans Real Talk. And of course, let me throw it up on the screen. Make sure y'all subscribe to that YouTube channel, youtube.com/For the Fans Productions. And don't worry, again, if you're not in the New York City area on Thursday nights and you can't watch us on TV on Verizon 43, just hit up that website, realfansrealtalk.com. Click the red button on the homepage and you can watch us from anywhere in the world. Also, I know y'all already doing it, but by now, if you're not, make sure you subscribe to Balling for Peace and H205 so you can stay in the loop. The Balling for Peace Road to Peace Tour does not stop with baseball. Football is coming up right after that. Bowling
August
is coming
26th.
after that. The basketball game will be back, and we in all of the high school classics and everything as well. That Balling for Peace is involved in. So please make sure you guys stay in the group. It's about giving back. It's about the community. It's about our youth. And when you have someone like Haron who's been doing what he's doing for a long time now, and doesn't get the praise and the accolades that he really should be getting, we got to do our best to support that and to continue to support the places that we have come from. All right. So with that being said, for myself, Trip Young, my co-host Eric Sanchez, Legend in 2 Games, and Haron H2O Hargrave, we up out of here. Peace.